now, let's move on to the story that sounds administrative on surface, but it could create a life-changing consequences for thousands of Indians living in America. The United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, USCIS, is introducing a much stricter rule regarding signature on immigration forms. That's right. Under these new regulations, even one missing or invalid signature, it could lead to immediate rejection of a major immigration application. Well, that includes the H-1B petition, green card application, work authorization request, immigrant petition, and adjust of status filing. In fact, in some situations, the USCIS may even keep the filing fee while rejecting the case entirely. That means applicants could lose money, they can lose time, and in some cases lose their immigration timeline altogether. And for Indians who are trapped in long-term backlogs, timing really matters here. Why? Because many immigration categories operate under strict deadlines and quota system. One rejected filing, it can delay career, family plans, school admission for their children, and even future green card eligibility. Now here USCIS says that these stricter rules, they are meant to track down on fraud filing and questionable paperwork practices. Valid handwriting, wet ink signature, it will generally remain acceptable, and in the meantime, official electronic signature, they are also allowed only within approved USCIS system. But copied signature, scanned image signature, typed names or signatures placed by unauthorized individuals, it may now trigger rejection. Here, immigration lawyers, they are warning the companies and applicants to become extremely careful. Now, large employers sponsoring foreign workers, they may now need to redesign entire documentation system to ensure that every signature complies perfectly with the new standards. And remember here, let me tell you, for many Indian professionals in America, immigration paperwork, it is not simply bureaucracy. It determines where family lives, whether children remain in school, whether spouses can work, whether mortgage continue getting paid, and whether permanent residency remains possible or not. Specifically, under the H-1B system, where visa timelines already create a lot of stress, even minor administrative error, it can suddenly become devastating. And that is why anxiety, it is growing rapidly among Indian workers and employers alike. Because the American immigration system is becoming not only stricter, but also far less forgiving. In the meantime, education advisors say that demand for elite US universities remain surprisingly strong. Even while broader international students' interest in America, it is weakening due to visa fear and immigration uncertainty. And that reveals something very important. The brand value of elite American education, it still carries a lot of influence globally. Many Indian students continue believing that top American institutions offer the opportunity that no other country fully can replicate. Access to venture capital network, world-class research ecosystem, global alumni network, and career mobility, and that way across industries and continents. And at the very same time, however, the mindset, it is now evolving as well. Earlier, students often saw elite American education as a direct pathway to long-term US employment or settlement. But today, many students, they describe it as a calculated gamble because the environment, it has changed significantly. Visa approvals are becoming slower, OPT programs face political pressure. In fact, H-1B sponsorship, they are increasingly uncertain. The US tech sector, it is reconstructing aggressively. AI automation is changing the hiring pattern, and yet the applications keep on coming. Why? Because for many Indian families, the long-term global value of an elite American degree, it still outweighs the short-term immigration risk. But competition from other countries, it is growing rapidly. Canada, Germany, Australia, Singapore, in fact, parts of Europe, they are now offering clearer post-study work opportunity and easier path to attract the international talent. So wait, that means the global education market itself, it is changing. America still dominates in prestige though, but other countries are beginning to compete more effectively in stability, affordability, and long-term immigration certainty. And increasingly, Indian students are being forced to ask a difficult question: is the American dream still worth the uncertainty that now comes attached to that?